What is up, guys? Chris here, Bear Market Mining. Thanks again for stopping by. So today we've got another review video coming for you. Today we're looking at the AE2 Leo miner from Ice River. So this thing is an absolute beast. It's twice the hash rate of the previous model, the AE1 Lite. So we're going to look through this today, check the hash rate, check all the stats, and most importantly, see how much money it's making. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, let's check it out. This is the AE2 Leo miner. This thing is an absolute beast, 720 mega hash for 1300 watts. So as we can see, it looks like a full-sized ASIC, right? It's got these two big Delta fans on it. It's got the power supply slapped to the side. So it's definitely not exactly what I was expecting, but still a pretty standard miner. We've got, IP reports, we've got Ethernet cables, all the standard stuff you'd expect, reset buttons, and an SD card in there as well. So really keen to get this fired up, see what sort of noise those fans are making, and see what sort of hash rate we can get out of this, because this is a pretty cool miner and my first ASIC style miner to have at home. So let's go and get this thing set up, get it all fired up, and then we'll be away and mining. Let's get into it. Let's check out the specifications of this miner. So there is a slightly different image up here as well. You've already seen what it looks like, so ignore this image here. But price wise, there's a few different options here. The 720 mega hash one we have got. They've also got a 570 and a 510 if you wanted to scale down the price and the hash rate a little bit. But specifications, if we scroll down here, we know it is 1300 watts at 720 mega hash. So that makes it some of the most efficient miner in its class. It's mining the ZK Snark algorithm, as we already know. Now the size, these specs are pretty accurate as far as the size that the miner is, but the noise level is very different. It's definitely not 60 decibels. It's probably more like 90 decibels with those 6,000 RPM fans. So stay tuned a little later in the video. We'll go through a bunch of sort of do's and don'ts with this miner and when it might suit your application. Also, the 1300 watt power draw is going to be maxing out a 110 volt 10 amp outlet. So if you've got a standard outlet like that and you're in the States, make sure you look into your electrics first, because you won't be able to run this on a standard outlet. You'll need a 15 amp 100 or 110 outlet. So over here on Miner Bros comes with a 180-day guarantee. As we said, anywhere from, what's that, $3,500 to just over $4,000 to grab yourself one of these. Now, if you did want to get one, this is a sponsored video by Crypto Miner Bros, and we do have a coupon code. Bear Miner, as you can see here, will save you 70 bucks. So make sure you watch the rest of the video before you decide to go into purchasing anything like this, because it's important to have all the information before you make any big purchases. So those are the specs. That is what we're looking at. So why don't we jump in now and have a look at the dashboard, and I'll show you a few bits and pieces inside there. Checking out this Ice River dashboard. If you've got Ice River miners, then it's all the exact same stuff. You can see up here, we've got our hash rate, our fan speed, and our miner temps. They're all normal. We've got a 1.5 minute hash rate and a 6 hour average half rate. 872 mega hash, which is much better than advertised, and 760 mega hash over the 6 hour as well, which is also much better than advertised. But this has just been turned on today, so we don't have a full 24 hours to go off yet. But scrolling down further, we've got our mining settings in here. We've got our pool address, our wallet worker, all that sort of stuff. Fan speed controller, 0%. To my understanding, we'll leave it on auto. So that's what I do. This will jump up and down as it needs to. You've got your IP settings. You've got your user settings in here as well for the password. Make sure you change that as well. Firmware upgrades, we've got miner logs, all that sort of stuff. Now, if you do want to know how to get into this dashboard itself, it's very easy. I'll either leave a link, a card up above, or a link in the description so you can get an idea of how to get this up and mining. Let's check out the profitability now and see how much this is actually making. So we're over here on whattomine.com. We've got our ZK Snark algorithm with 720 mega hash and 1300 watts. So at a 10 cent USD electric rate, actually, let's bring that down properly. This is making nearly $30 a day. So that's about $900 a month right now. So this thing is making hella bank, right? But as we know with ASIC miners, it may not last. Hash rate might go up. Coin price could go down. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But so far looking really, really nice. Just under $30 a day in profit after electricity at a residential electric rate. So this right now is by far my most profitable miner, and hopefully it stays like that long into the future. I also want to show you the efficiency. So we can see here right now, if we scroll down, we've got our AE2. It's 1.81 joules per mega hash. So not the most efficient, but within 10% of the most efficient miners out there. Now, fortunately, because this is making so much profit, even with a higher electric rate, it's still going to remain really, really profitable. So as we can see, the Ice River unit's just absolutely blowing the Gold Shell units out of the water. You know, the AE Max 2 is a 5.93. So, you know, it's 4 times less efficient than this AE2. So the AE2 are really, really good miners so far. Super efficient and super profitable, which is always great. Now, if we check it out on the pool side here on dxpool.com, that's where we're mining to. As I said, it's just turned back on today, but we can see around 730 mega hash is what we're getting, what we're expected to get right now. So I only ran this for about 3 hours or so yesterday for just under 40 Aleo. So it's making some really, really good yield. And in fact, What2Mine's estimating right around 101 Aleo per day. So that is really, really nice. So at the moment, about $30 a day. But if we look at where the coin price is currently, you can see we've had a nice spike and pull back down. You know, we're a long, long way away from all-time highs, almost a 20x. So that $30 a day, if you believe in Aleo, could be up to $600 US a day. So that is just absolutely outrageously profitable. Is it too good to be true? You let me know what you think, but you never know, right? You got to be in it to win it. If you were to have one of these for a year, hold it, and it went back to all-time highs, we're talking tens and tens of thousands of dollars. This could be a huge, huge game changer if Aleo does really well. But one thing to remember, of course, is the hash rate will go up, right? A lot of these miners are about to come online. And if we see what happened last time when the, I think it was the AE1 Lite started releasing, or maybe the AE Zeros, we can see, you know, over the course of a few months, 0.3 terahash, 0.8 network terahash, you know, all the way up to 2. So a good 3, 4, 5x, depending on where you measure that from. Now, this could happen again, right? These miners are twice as powerful as the previous version. So, you know, if we expected a 2 terahash uptick, we might expect even more. And in fact, I'll link a video I did previously about Aleo miners and about what to expect. That will give you a sort of understanding of what we could expect now again with these new miner releases coming out. Now, a couple of quick things to mention, right? First up, these fans that it comes with stock are super, super loud. You will not be able to run this at home inside your house. You'll need a shed, or you'll need to send it off to hosting or replace the fans to something a little bit quieter, because those 6,000 RPM Delta fans are just they're gonna drive you insane. It's just not feasible. So make sure you plan to change the fans or host if you're gonna buy this miner. The second thing I want to discuss quickly is the power. Now, it does pull 1300 watts. I've tested that at the wall, and it will pull all of those 1300 watts depending on the fan speed. So as we said, make sure you check your power requirements and your power outlets before you do this. If you're on a 110, 10 amp or something similar, you need to make sure you've got enough power to run this. So that will wrap it up there, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Is this worthwhile? Is this going to be one of those, you know, diamond in the rough type miners, or is it going to be $4,000 you'll spend and never see again? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing, Join the Discord. The link is in the description if you've got any more questions, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.